Revelation 4302. From the 17th of May 1948. Apostasy. Children of God, creatures of God. You shall all be my children. You are indeed my living creations. You emerged from me but were called into existence as free beings and not exposed to any compulsion which told you to stay with me. You were merely prompted to make a free decision as to whether you wanted to stay with me or surrender meinen out of a false consciousness of strength. You opted for the latter. You believed that you could create and shape independently of me and thus rejected my emanation of strength, my love. And thus you have deprived yourselves of childship. You are indeed my living creations, yet not devoted to me with love but striving away from me. But I want to win you back as my children. I want you to return to me of your own free will, that you long for my love, that you desire my strength and should strive for it with all eagerness. I want to give you back the right of childship. I want you to be full of light and strength. That light and strength drive you to be active and that you thus create and shape like me for your own bliss. And I will enforce my will, even if eternities will pass until you have reached the final aim, but one day I will have all my children again. They will have entered into the most blissful union with me and it will be, as it was in the beginning, a kingdom of blessed spirits who will never depart from me. But in order to achieve this aim I must also make myself known to the most distant creatures. I must try to awaken love for me in them so that they will strive. And therefore I constantly approach them, especially in the stage where my living creations are capable of realization, so that they let their own will become active and turn to me. In the stage as a human being my struggle for the creature is uninterrupted, for it is the stage of freedom of will which is decisive. If my living creation has recognized me it strives towards me, yet I cannot forcibly guide it into recognition because it should decide freely. Yet I constantly influence the soul and come close to it in everything that surrounds it. Every work of creation is a testimony of me, which the human being's thinking, feeling and wanting, his soul, can stimulate to seek connection with me. Every experience, suffering or joy, his entire course of life, points to me again and again. To the being who has granted him this course of life, the human being can believe but is not forced to do so. He only has to want to recognize his purpose of existence and deal with thoughts which touch upon the question of the meaning and purpose of his earthly life. Then he will slowly enter the state of realization, for then I will be close to him where he is and where he stands. For I want to be loved by my living creations so that I can raise them to be my true children. And therefore they must recognize me if they are to love me. And I help them to come to knowledge through my word. I myself speak to them and teach them to understand my word. Through my word I give them knowledge of my nature, of my creation and activity and of their purpose. And if the human being hears my word he will learn to love me and inevitably find his way to me, and I will accept him and truly prepare a home for him as my child, a father's house, where all the joys of a child will be offered to him, where he will be free and happy and constantly dwell in the Father's vicinity and be inexpressibly happy. Amen.